You know what time it is, Sandbox MMA fans. It's the UFC matchmaking time. Time to make one of my favorite video edits or video series because I don't edit these. I just go in raw like a real man. UFC 304 matchmaking. Let's just get into it because obviously UFC 304 was a pretty interesting card. There was a lot that went on. And we're going to start right into it. We're going to start with the prelim fighters. Not matching up Shanna Banan or Arlise Adelan, just so you can match them up with a piece of cake just because they got a little bit of booty, but I'm not going to bother with those. We'll start with Mick Parkin, first significant fight of the night. That got a first round knockout, great performance. I think he should be looking to make a quick turnaround. Someone that is fighting this next weekend that I think will deserve. I think is in a similar spot as Mick Parkin, where they're looking very close to the rankings, maybe one more fight after it. Dontel May's opponent, Shamil Gaziev, Lucas Tracy's favorite fighter, Shamil the Blob Gaziev. Dude, Shamil the Blob, man. I don't know, it's a bad Lucas impression. I'll get better at those. But I think this is a good matchup to make. Two guys that probably are close to deserving a ranking spot or close to deserving a fight in the rankings. Last time they tried to jump Shamil up too quick to Jairzinho Rosenstrike, gave him a main event, and he died in the octagon because he was too fat. So I think you do another three-rounder. Prelims. If you can make the 308 card, if either guys can make it, if Shamil doesn't get too banged up, put it as the prelim on the 308 card in Abu Dhabi. If you can't make that, and then I'd say look at, 309 prelims, maybe 310 prelims, or just a fight night. Get on one of those cards in November-ish, I think we're looking at. If you can make October, great. But November is a good timeline they should be looking at unless Shamil takes damage against Dontel Mays, which I doubt will happen this weekend. Next up was Sam Patterson. Got a first-round submission over Kiefer Crosby. Impressive, except it's Kiefer Crosby. Think he should be looking to make a quick turnaround. Adam Fugit, a guy that hasn't fought in a while. Sam Patterson took no damage. I think he should be looking to turn around in around October. That gives him another 2 full months before it gets to October here. I think he can get into another fight camp, take on Adam Fugit, and it's a little bit higher of a step up in competition. Obviously more than Kiefer Crosby, but it's, someone that's fought in the UFC before and has a UFC win and is coming off a recent win. So Sam Patterson, Adam Fugit's what I would make looking at that October-November time, probably November. Modestas Bukauskas got a win over Marcin Prachnio. It was a pretty entertaining fight for a little bit till it got to the ground, but I think Ming Yang Zhang. I think if you can make this fight for a December fight night at the end of the year, Ming Yang Zhang, Modestas Bukauskas, this is a good fight. These guys are going to be swinging leather. I reckon Modestas will try and shoot at one point, but I don't think his takedowns are that good. I just think Prachnio's that dumb. Should be a good fight. Should be a firefight. Someone's going out. It'll probably be Modestas. This is a good matchup to make. Modestas Bukauskas versus Ming Yang Zhang. I think it's the fight to make in this division at light heavyweight right now. It gives Ming Yang Zhang a chance to start working up those rankings as well. And he's someone that's promotable that you're going to want to put in there. Callan Loughran. So the order's a little wonky here. We're going to go with Callan Loughran next. Looked bad against Hadley, honestly. Plotty, not that good. Hadley just outclassed him on the feet. He's going to need to be looking down a little bit. And I think Brad Katona is the next guy to fight for him. Someone that has a kind of similar style, except Callan Loughran's a lot more physical. Callan Loughran can wrestle. Brad Katona can wrestle. Neither of them are like that good at striking at all, but it should be an interesting fight. British guy versus a Canadian, not a British guy, an Irish guy versus a Canadian guy. I think you can look at this fight for probably, again, the end of the year, a fight night in December. You know what? Callan Loughran is Irish. It's rumored that McGregor's going to be fighting on 310 in December. That's the hope. Why don't you put him on the prelims of that card? Brad Katona, Keelan Loughran. Brad Katona is someone, obviously, that fought on the tough season with McGregor. I think that's a good fight to make. Loughran versus Katona, 310 prelims. That's probably the spot that I'd want to put it. Oban Elliott got a good win over Preston Parsons, who I'm not matching up in this video. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with him yet, so didn't want to make this video too long. But Oban Elliott should turn around and fight Puna Soriano. Puna Soriano's coming off a good win against Miguel Baeza. Puna looked really good at welterweight. Oban Elliott has showed that he is consistently improving from his Val Woodburn fight to this fight. Why doesn't he fight someone that's a little bit better on the feet? And we saw Puna was taking down Miguel Baeza, but Miguel Baeza, I think, could have got up. He was just accepting it and playing the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Puna coming off of a really good win last time, an absolute beatdown. I think Oban Elliott, if he can sneak a win here, gets some hype and continues to roll up those welterweight rankings. So Oban Elliott, Puna Soriano, I think that's the fight to make. I would probably lean with Oban Elliott, honestly. I don't think Puna is actually as good as everyone's going to say he is after that one win, but Oban Elliott versus Puna Soriano is a good fight to make again. This is a fight that we're looking at for the end of the year, start of next year, honestly, I'm okay with because Oban Elliott's very young. If you did like a January fight night and you made this on the prelims, I think that's a great way to help promote that card. Moving on to Bruno Brazil's impressive win over Molly McCann. After this weekend, after seeing the ceremonial weigh-ins and all that stuff, Bruno Brazil, she's kind of a babe. So let's match her up with another babe. And what the hell just happened? Move there? Yeah. Veronica Hardy. I don't know how Dan Hardy managed to land this, but Veronica Hardy, babe. Bruno Brazil, babe. Two females outside the rankings in their division. I think they can both just kind of duke it out for the number 15 spot. Winner gets a 15 spot. I'm okay with that. Bruno Brazil versus Veronica Hardy. Make it happen. Fight night, prelims, November, December, something like that. You can again have them start the year, but I don't think Bruna took a ton of damage, so I think she should be able to turn around. And it's been about 2 or 3 months since Veronica Hardy's last fought. Bruna Brazil, Veronica Hardy, December prelims fight night, make it happen. Jake Hadley, very impressive win over Keelan Loughran, going up a division. Like I said, he was more technical, he was more skilled, he was faster. I knew he was better than Keelan Loughran. No one wanted to fucking listen to me, but I was right, and I get to rub it in everyone's face that I was right. Think he should go back down to flyweight. I know he struggled making bantamweight, and he looked good at bantamweight, but he is very, very small for bantamweight. And he has a good size advantage at flyweight. So I would go Jake Hadley versus Dana's hype man, Ronaldo Rodriguez. For some reason, Dana thinks Ronaldo Rodriguez is this absolute murderer and deserves to be on the Sphere main card. He's probably going to beat his competition, who I don't remember who they're fighting. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Ronaldo Rodriguez, Jake Hadley. Who was Ronaldo fighting on the Sphere? It was some absolute... Ode Osborne. Bruh. Terrible, terrible fighter to be putting on the main card of the Sphere, one of the biggest cards of all time, Dana. Yeah, right. We'll make a video bitching at the Sphere, maybe, but I'm going to Amsterdam this weekend, so I guess we'll say Jake Hadley versus Ronaldo Rodriguez. They're both going to be coming off wins. This is going to be the fight to make. You do it at the start of next year, February, fight night, prelim, headliner. I'm okay with that. Or if they go to Mexico City in February again, you can do that fight there. Jake Hadley, Ronaldo Rodriguez is a good fight to make. Muhammad Makayev, Dana White already spoiled this one for us, but Muhammad Makayev should be going straight to the PFL, and he will be going right to the PFL. So they're going to get an undefeated flyweight, except for the fact that they don't have a flyweight division. So maybe he goes to one, but I know one doesn't tolerate all that nonsense that he likes to pull outside of the octagon. Scum, rat, loser, boring fighter. Maybe he goes to Bellator and ends up going up to 35 for bantamweight. I got no idea. Makayev's going to end up having to find somewhere else to fight because UFC's not having it. Apparently his outside the cage antics are what's caused this. But anyway, let's go to his opponent. Let's not give him any more time for smelling crotch. Manel Kape broke his toe and was too hesitant against Makayev. Again, he broke his toe, but you know what, dude? You got to come out there and you got to fight right bat out of hell. I get that you're nervous with the takedowns, but that's why we're not going to give you a takedown artist. We're going to give you someone else you have beef with in the flyweight division, and that's Kai Kara-France. I think Steve Erceg is going to beat Kai Kara-France. So if Kai Kara-France ends up winning that fight, I think that this fight probably won't happen. It'll probably be Kape versus Erceg or something like that, or Kape versus someone else up there in the top 7, because I think Kape's 8. But if you do Kape versus Kai Kara-France, there's heat on this fight. It'll be a fun fight, hopefully. You can do this the next time you go to Australia. But again, I'd like to see these guys more active. Maybe you do it as on a February pay-per-view, UFC 312, open up the main card with Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape, or you can make it the feature fight. I think that's the way to do it. So Manel Kape, Kai Kara-France, make this fight happen. We need to see it in the flyweight division. And I'm sorry, Veronica Hardy's just staring into my eyes right now, so I got distracted. Nathaniel Wood versus Nate the Train Landwehr. Who's the better Nate? Let's find out in this fight. The winner of this can take on a ranked challenger after it. Both these guys just outside the rankings, coming off good wins. And the winner just takes on a ranked opponent next. I think that's the way this should happen. Nate Landwehr, Nathaniel Wood, two good, fun fighters. Nathaniel Wood, very technical. Nate Landwehr really likes to get in your face and bring it, but they're both good fighters just outside the featherweight rankings, and the winner can take a look at number 15 or go up in the rankings a little bit. So Nathaniel Wood, Nate Landwehr, let's make this one happen. UFC 310 prelim headliner. Open up the main card with it, honestly. I'm okay, especially considering there's going to be no title fights on that card if McGregor's on it. Make this one happen, guys. Giga Chikadze lost to Arnold Allen. Won the first round, but definitely lost the last two. Put up a decent fight, but Arnold Allen just marched him down, and Arnold Allen proves again why he's at the top of the division. Giga Chikadze versus Lerone Murphy. Make this one a co-main event of a UFC fight night in front of a crowd. Make it the feature fight of a UFC main event or a UFC fight night in front of a crowd. Maybe something that features featherweights. Maybe it's something that features bantamweight. Like something to really help boost the card as a co-main or a feature fight on a crowded fight night. Do this one in front of like a Texas crowd in December, guys. Like it's the perfect fight to make. Lerone Murphy, I think number 11 in the rankings, something like that, versus Giga Chikadze, who I think's number 10, something like that, maybe 9. This is the fight to make, guys. This is a great fight. Giga Chikadze, Lerone Murphy, 3-round co-main event feature fight on a crowded fight night card. Arnold Allen, super, super impressive win. And the reason I mentioned crowded fight night card, because I want the main event to be Yair Rodriguez versus Arnold Allen, December fight night in Texas. Make this the main event. Arnold Allen needs to be going 5 rounds and 5 rounds only. He is too good of a fighter to be in a 3-round fight. You put him in there, do a 5-round fight, and you're going to see a technical masterpiece. Yair Rodriguez has the gas tank to go 5 rounds. Again, the number 4 ranked guy or the number 3 ranked guy. I think it's Ilya Champ, Volk 1, Max 2, Ortega 3, Yair 4. So yeah, you got the 4 and the 6 fighting each other. This is the right way to do it. And as a main event in front of a crowd in Texas, that would be awesome. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Roman Kopylov. 2 guys that everyone wants to promote because they're high class, technical, high class, I don't know, dude. Highly technical, skilled strikers that don't really like to go to the ground. I think this would be an awesome technical fight. Kopylov, CLD. If you look and you do this one if you put all 3 of these fights on a card together in front of Texas, you can fill the rest of the card with shit because this card is going to be amazing. You put this on a crowded main card of a fight night, and it's gonna bang. It's gonna absolutely bang. Roman Kopylov, CLD. We're looking at. I'm gonna say it should be December. I could see it starting at a card in January, opening up a main card, being the feature fight on a main card, something like that. CLD Roman Kopylov is the fight to make, though, and the winner can start looking up at those rankings again. Possibly, if you're CLD, if you're Roman Kopylov, you're coming off 2 wins. I think you can start looking at 15 again, considering you drew the short straw of Anthony Hernandez. Gregory Rodriguez, impressive win, outstruck Christian Leroy Duncan, then outgrappled Christian Leroy Duncan. It is time he looks into the rankings, and I've looked at everyone in the rankings. Michel Pereira and Anthony Hernandez are fighting each other, so that's 13 and 14 completely gone. You got number 10, Roman Dolidze, who just got a win over Anthony Smith in light heavyweight. I don't know if he's going to stay in light heavyweight, but he did Dana a favor by taking it on short notice. I don't think Dana's going to screw him like that. Caio Borralho, a fellow Brazilian that fights at Fight Nerds, and I don't think that G-Rod wants to fight Caio, and I don't think Caio wants to fight him either. If they're okay with fighting each other, let it happen. I think it's a great fight to make, but Caio's probably going to be looking up at the ranking considering he's starting to get promotable. Then I look at the number 11 guy, and I'm pretty sure it's Khamzat Chimaev, so we know that Khamzat's not fighting down to fight Gregory Rodriguez. UFC would never. I don't remember. 15th ranked is Chris Curtis, so again, I would love to see a Chris Curtis fight as well, but I'm going to go with Paulo Costa. He's had 2 top 4 fighters in his division that he's gotten into fights with. Again, like he's had booked fights. They're not getting in fights. It was Whitaker and it was Strickland, and he lost both very clearly, very dominantly. He's got to take a look down in the rankings. He's ranked number 9, I believe. Fight Gregory Rodriguez. And again, if you lose, you don't get out of the rankings, Paulo, but you get Gregory Rodriguez into the rankings, someone that I think should deserve to be there, especially with his fight style. Gregory Rodriguez, Paulo Costa is an absolute banger of a fight. Make it happen. Bobby Green. I'm sorry, this fight should be feature fight on a the pay-per-view in January, UFC 311. I think that's the one to make. If you can do 310, that would be sick, because then you'd have Connor on the card, you'd have a couple other guys on the card, G-Rod and Paolo, and then you have Loughran as the prelims. But we're going to move to Bobby Green. I think this one's going to be on a 311 pay-per-view, maybe a co-main, maybe a feature fight, something like that. I don't think G-Rod deserves co-main yet, though. But feature fight, pay-per-view, 311 would be awesome. Bobby Green needs to wait till March or April to fight. He's gotten finished badly the past couple times. I get it. He got his win over Jim Miller, but he got knocked down in that fight. Like, he looked like he took a little bit of a beatings at points. He got destroyed by Jalen Turner. He just got choked out and his arm broken by Paddy. Take time off and fight Pillow Hand Selecki. I think he would destroy Selecki. We need to get Bobby Green's confidence back up, and he might not see the rankings again. He's not going to get a title. We always knew that. But let's get him on a 2-fight win streak so he can retire happy. He gets his money. He retires happy. Bobby Green, Joe Selecki, give it almost a year. Give it 9-10 months. Then you can fight again, Bobby. I don't want to see you keep getting hurt. And Paddy Pimblett. Now, he called out Moicano. I don't think he's getting the Moicano fight. Now, if Moicano loses to BSD, he's getting the Moicano fight. But I'm one of the few people that think Moicano's going to beat BSD. I think his grappling's better, and I think he throws better straight punches. BSD has power, and he's ruthless, and he's relentless. But I think Moicano's better than him, if I'm being honest, especially technically. So I think Moicano's going to beat him, and I think Paddy's going to be left without a Moicano for an opponent, because Moicano's going to have a title eliminator fight after BSD. He's going to end up fighting like a Gamrot or like a Charles Oliveira or like something like that. So do Paddy Pimblett versus Beneil Dariush, 7th ranked versus Paddy Pimblett, who's the 15th ranked, and I get it's a big jump up, but we know the UFC wants Paddy Pimblett in the rankings. I can see Beneil Dariush just getting pushed down in the rankings too for being a little, I don't want to say inactive, but he's coming off a bad KO loss to Arman Tsarukyan, and I don't know that he's fought since then. I can't think of an opponent that he's fought since then. He's had some time off. You're going to want Paddy and Beneil Dariush, UFC 310 co-main event to Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. That's going to be a good fight. Make it happen. Oh, if you did that, Conor Chandler, Paddy Dariush, G-Rod versus Paulo Costa, you have a sick card with no title fights. That would be awesome. Curtis Blades, big win for Tom Aspinall. Curtis, sorry you had to be the guy to get KO'd like this, but, you were the most competitive guy in the division. You've already fought Pavlovich. Don't want to see that one again. I want to see you fight someone new. You've already fought Derek Lewis. You've already fought and beat Volkov, and Volkov and Gane are tied up. I think Curtis Blades can turn around, maybe not by the end of the year, but at the start of next year, Apex main event, because this screams Apex main event, Tybura or Spivak, whoever wins their main event next weekend, versus Curtis Blades. I think Curtis beats them easily, then has one more fight, and then can start looking at titles again. Curtis Blades versus, I think it's going to be Marcin Tybura that's going to win. Make this one happen as a Apex fight night main event in January, February, something like that. Then we're going to go Tom Aspinall. There's only one man for him to fight, and it's Prisoner 627, John Jones. Sorry, buddy, is that your mugshot's the first thing that comes up when I look up John Jones and I look for a picture, because you're a criminal rat wife-beating PED cheat. But Prisoner 627 doesn't stand a chance. He'll get sparked by Aspinall. This should be on UFC 309. It should be Aspinall versus Jones. Aspinall can turn around because he puts everyone out so fast that he never takes damage. Jones doesn't fucking do that unless it's against Cyril Gane, and Cyril Gane doesn't know how to fucking grapple, but Jones, Aspinall, 309, MSG, that's the fight to make. Now, if Jones decides he wants to fight Stipe Miocic, well, Tom Aspinall's going to be there to be the backup fighter, and he's going to be there to be ready to walk in the ring, so that way they can promote the fight. Jones is going to have to either retire and duck him in front of everyone, or he's going to have to suck it up and take the fight. Now, if he takes the fight, I'm sure it would be a pay-per-view in March. I just don't like seeing an Aspinall out that long, and I think Aspinall could rub it in his nose and say, you know what, I'm not waiting that long, John. I'm going to fight Alex Pereira. And this is going to be for the real title, because I'm the real heavyweight champion. I'm the best. And I could see that happening as well. But Jones and Aspinall is the fight to make, guys. It's the fight everyone wants to see. Dana, at this point, I think, wants to see it. Make it happen. Jones, Aspinall, even though Dana's still getting the Guinness World Record for the amount of bounces that he's done on John Jones's rod. That was a funny post, whoever posted that, I forget. Leon Edwards took an L. I don't think he's getting an immediate rematch. Dana doesn't want an immediate rematch, so he should fight someone in a title elimination bout, and that should be Jack Della Maddalena. Now, I'd love to see JDM versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, but I think someone's going to have to fight for the title, and I don't know who else is deserving other than those two. It's not Ian Gary. I think Shavkat versus Leon Edwards would be a sick fight to make. Two strikers, main event of a UFC fight night in front of a crowd. Do this in January, crowded fight night, main event. Do it in like, I'm trying to think of a location. Fucking anywhere. You can literally do this as a main event in, if you want to do one in England, you can do it in England as a main event. JDM versus Leon Edwards, 5 rounds, sick fight, but this needs to be a 5-round fight. Leon Edwards, JDM, make this fight happen. It's a sick fight. And that leaves Shavkat Rakhmonov to fight for the title against Belal Muhammad. I think he is the most deserving contender, but I'm not opposed if you want to do Shavkat JDM and Belal waits, but once these two fight, he is ready to turn around for early next year. I think that would be great. But if you're going to have Belal fight someone next, and there's got to be someone for him to fight next, it's not going to be Usman. He's not going up to fight DDP, or is he? Islam's not going up to fight him. It's got to be Shavkat, because Ian Gary doesn't deserve it coming off of a lackluster MVP win. Honestly, I could argue JDM does have an argument for it because he beat better opponent in Burns than Shavkat did in Wonderboy, but the other opponents that Shavkat beat, like Jeff Neal, versus the other opponents that JDM beat, like Kevin Holland and Basil Hafez and Rafael Estevam, or whatever his name is, something Amiv. And then Shavkat's beating up on guys like Jeff Neal. He beat the fuck out of, I think was it Neil? Someone to get in the rankings. He beat the fuck out of too. It was he's the killer. He's the Terminator right now. Shavkat versus Belal Muhammad. It's the fight to make, guys. Let's make it happen. This was the UFC matchmaking video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did so. Oh, shit. I'm going to be in Amsterdam this week, so I'm going to post my predictions for the Abu Dhabi card tomorrow. Get those ones out so that way you have them other than having them Saturday morning or Friday. But thank you again for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.